Everybody asks me the wrong question. RJ, what year should I buy? I get it every single week, and I understand why people ask it that way. A year feels like something you can actually search for, but I've had two 2014 F-150s on my lift in the same month. Same paint, same mileage, same trim level. One had 350,000 miles on it and was still going. The other one was already a $6,000 repair waiting to happen. Same truck, same year, completely different engine underneath. I'm RJ, 20 years working on Fords. Today, I'm showing you the F-150 years I'd actually buy, the years I'd walk away from, and the one thing that decides which category any specific truck actually falls into. Because the year gets you close. It's the engine that decides whether you made a smart purchase or an expensive one. Most people start looking right around 2015 or 2016. It makes sense. That's usually where the budget lands, and these trucks look completely current. New aluminum body, sharper lines, a completely redesigned interior. Sit in one and it feels like a modern truck. What's under the hood? That's the question that actually matters here. And it's the one most buyers skip completely because the outside already convinced them. Underneath that aluminum body, a 2015 or 2016 F-150 is still very likely running the first generation 3.5 EcoBoost. The same engine, the same timing chain that stretches faster than Ford expected, the same direct injection carbon buildup building on the intake valves because fuel never touches them. The truck looks like a 2020. The engine underneath acts like a 2012. That's exactly why so many buyers get fooled here. The truck earns their trust before the engine's ever had a chance to. And the aluminum body adds its own wrinkle on top of that. A fender bender that would have cost $800 to fix on the steel-bodied truck before it can run well past $2,500 on this one, because aluminum repair needs specialty tools and certified shops that not every neighborhood body shop has. Here's what most buyers on a 2015 or 2016 F-150 never think to check. The 5.0 Coyote was also available in these exact same model years. Same aluminum body, same modern interior, completely different engine underneath, and a completely different ownership story. If the truck in front of you has the Coyote badge instead of the EcoBoost, you're looking at a fundamentally different purchase wearing the same sheet metal. The truck tells you it's modern. The engine tells you what year it actually is. Always check which one you're buying before you fall for the one you're looking at. A little older, and the budget stretches further. 2011 through 2014 comes up next for a lot of buyers, and this is where the EcoBoost story actually started. What's under the hood? In 2011, Ford made a bold bet. A twin-turbo V6 replacing a V8 in America's best-selling truck. For some owners, it worked out fine. For owners who towed hard or stretched their oil changes, it turned into an expensive lesson. Timing chain stretch showed up on trucks that had no business showing timing wear yet, sometimes as early as 60 or 70,000 miles. Carbon buildup on the intake valves cost owners $500 to $800 in walnut blasting, sometimes more than once. Early trucks even had a documented issue with condensation collecting in the intercooler and getting pulled into the engine under hard acceleration. Owners described it as the truck hitting a wall at highway speed. But the 5.0 Coyote was sitting right next to that EcoBoost option the entire time, in the exact same model years, and it tells a completely different story. Forged crankshaft, strong bottom end, none of the turbo heat or boost plumbing that gave the EcoBoost its problems. Early Coyotes had a minor timing chain tensioner issue on some examples, a few $100s to address if caught early, nothing close to what the EcoBoost was dealing with in the same years. Same 4 years on the calendar, two completely different trucks depending on what's stamped on the valve cover. Same truck, same year, completely different purchase. Some buyers, trying to save real money, go older still. 2009 and 2010 is usually where that search ends up. What's under the hood? This is the tail end of the 5.4 Triton era, and it's also the last couple of years you can still find the 4.6 as a lower cost option on the same truck. Those two engines are not the same conversation. The 5.4 uses a two-piece spark plug design threaded into an aluminum head, and after 70 or 80,000 miles without service, those plugs seize up and break on removal. What should be a $200 tune-up turns into specialty extraction work, sometimes $600 for a single plug. Multiply that across 8 cylinders on a truck where none of them were ever touched. The cam phasers on the same engine are oil pressure dependent, and when oil changes get stretched, you get that cold start rattle. Phasers and timing chain wear arriving together because the same neglected oil starves both of them at once. Combined jobs on a 5.4 run $2,000 to $3,500, sometimes more if the chain's already skipped a tooth. I've watched buyers celebrate finding a cheap 2010 on Marketplace, feeling like they'd beaten the market, right up until they discovered it had the 5.4 sitting under the hood. The 4.6 in these same years can be the safer bet, but only if you know which version you're actually looking at. The 2-valve 4.6 has none of this. Simple valve train, no cam phasers, nothing running on oil pressure that can starve and rattle. Some 2009 and 2010 trucks still came with the 3-valve 4.6 instead. And if you're looking at one of those, it does carry the same cam phaser design as the 5.4. The same oil pressure sensitivity, just with smaller, less catastrophic failures when they happen. Generally $1,200 to $2,200 instead of the 5.4's bigger number. Neither the 5.4 nor the 3-valve 4.6 is something to buy blind. But knowing exactly which one you're looking at changes the entire negotiation. Older doesn't mean simpler here. It means you need to know exactly what's under the hood before the year on the title tells you anything useful at all. If you want to catch problems before they turn into expensive repairs, grab the free Ford Longevity Checklist at FordScope.com. It'll help you catch the same warning signs I look for before buying or maintaining any Ford. It only takes about 5 minutes. And if it raises any red flags, my full F-150 buyer and owner's guide is right there too. Every year, every engine, what to buy and what to walk away from. Everybody wants to know the best F-150. That's actually 2 different questions. If money doesn't matter, 2021 and newer. Best truck Ford has ever built. More refined EcoBoost, dual injection Coyote, a 10-speed transmission with years of real-world calibration behind it, technology no previous F-150 had access to. I'd tell you that today just like I told you before. But that's not why most of you are here. You're not shopping with a blank check. You're shopping with $20,000, maybe $25,000, maybe $30,000. And that's a different question. And that's where I'd actually spend my own money. If you want something simple, before any of this complexity even existed, 1997 through 2003 is still worth a serious look. No turbos, no variable valve timing, no direct injection carbon to worry about. The 4.6 V8 in these trucks is about as close to bulletproof as Ford ever built. And I've got customers still driving them past 300,000 miles on nothing more than oil changes and plugs at the right interval. Not fast, not modern, but a documented service history on one of these is worth more than the extra 15 years on a newer truck's title. 2017 is where the real turning point happened. Ford took 6 years of documented EcoBoost complaints seriously and actually fixed them. Revised timing chain tensioners and guides, an improved cam phaser system, and the most important change? Port injection added alongside direct injection on the second generation 3.5. Fuel washes over the intake valves again, on every cycle, the way it always used to. The carbon problem that had been costing EcoBoost owners hundreds of dollars every 40,000 miles simply stopped being a problem. The Coyote got real refinements the same year too. If the price gap between a 2016 and a 2017 on the lot is a couple of $1,000s, the 2017 is worth every bit of it. But if you ask me where I'd actually put my own money down today, it's 2018 through 2020. This is the sweet spot, and most of the market hasn't fully caught up to it yet. Dual injection landed on the 2.7 EcoBoost this year, the same fix that cleaned up the 3.5 the year before. The Coyote picked up dual injection too, largely eliminating carbon buildup as a long-term ownership concern. The 10R80 transmission, 2 full years into production by this point, had addressed most of its early calibration complaints. Hunting and harsh shifts that generated real service bulletins in 2017 were largely resolved through both hardware and software updates by 2018. I've got customers with 2018 and 2019 trucks sitting at 130,000 miles. Oil on schedule, transmission serviced, no phaser rattle, no timing chain noise, no carbon complaints, nothing. These trucks are doing exactly what the engineering intended, and right now the price gap between a 2019 and a 2021 on the used market can run $8,000 or more, while the real-world reliability difference between them, properly maintained, is close to nothing. 2021 and newer is still the best truck Ford has ever built, but 2018 through 2020 is where I'd spend my own money, because that's the question most buyers are actually asking. Whatever year you end up looking at, do these 5 things before any money changes hands. 1. Cold start it yourself. Not a video the seller sent you, not their word that it always sounds like that. Stand next to the truck when the key turns, first thing in the morning if you can arrange it, and listen to the first 30 seconds. A metallic rattle that fades as the engine warms is a phaser or a timing chain telling you exactly what it needs. 2. Identify the engine before anything else. Trim level, color, mileage, none of it matters until you know what's actually under that hood. Pull the door jamb sticker if you have to. Confirm it by VIN if the seller can't tell you with certainty. 3. Ask for transmission service records specifically. Mercon ULV, drained and filled at the right interval, not a sealed unit somebody told you never needs attention. 4. Ask when the oil was actually changed and how often, not what the sticker in the window says. An owner who can't answer that question hasn't been paying attention to anything else on the truck either. 5. Spend the $150 on a pre-purchase inspection with a Ford experienced mechanic. It's the cheapest line item in the entire purchase, and it'll tell you more in an hour than a seller will tell you in a week. If this video helped you keep a little more money in your pocket and you'd like to support the channel, hit the join button below. I'll see you in the next one.